Hello, my name is Dion. I'm here today to seek assistance in returning to sport as soon as possible after enduring a lengthy rehabilitation period due to injury. 6 weeks ago, I damaged my hamstring during a soccer match. Unfortunately, throughout my recovery period, I've been suffering with frequent psychological issues, making my recovery longer than it should be.
Hi, I'm Hannah. Nice to meet you. I understand you need help with a couple of psychological issues affecting the duration of the injury. What we may do is start by discussing the issues prevailing your return to physical activity and then design an action plan. What was your reason for seeing me today?
After performing the exercises our team physiotherapist has set me, my hamstring has strengthened significantly and recovered quite well, and I was expected to return on the pitch in no time at all. Although, as it became closer to the return date on the pitch, I feel I had a great deal of anxiety and low self-esteem due to the pressure to perform at a high level again. I sometimes doubt my ability now and ask myself, am I still good enough? These feelings of anxiety have negatively impacted my confidence to return. I feel anxious and nervous to perform to the best of my ability, as I am afraid I might re-injure my hamstring.
Where is the pressure to play coming from?
There is a lot of internal and external factors contributing to this excessive pressure. My coach probably has the greatest impact due to him constantly asking if I'm ready to go and saying he needs the star to come back on the team. He wants me fully recovered and back playing on the field as soon as possible, and that has become very daunting for me. My parents also play a part. Although they are trying to motivate me, they tell me to hurry up and get back on the pitch. It's something I'd rather not hear at this point in time though. This places pressure on me because I don't want to return too early and let my team down, as I might not be ready to perform as well as them. However, I don't want to let my coach or parents down either.
Are there any other factors adding to this pressure?
The fans also contribute to a lot of the pressure I'm feeling, as I see a lot of speculation on social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram, questioning when I'll return to play, and also my ability to play, as I have seen before. Even thinking about when I eventually return to play, I sense all the pressure as if the crowd will be joining every single move I make.
As you said before, this pressure leads to higher levels of anxiety, decreasing your confidence. How often do you train? How does your obstructed confidence affect your performance in training?
Well, currently training is 3 times a week, and I started doing light training 2 weeks ago. The physiotherapist said I've been seeing for my injury has told me what I can and can't do throughout my rehabilitation. And even though I know what I'm capable of doing, I limit myself to my comfort zone because I'm worried about I will tear my hamstring again. This makes my recovery much slower, as I'm not doing as much as I should do for my injury.
With all that in mind, what are some goals you want to achieve within yourself and not thinking about what others want?
One goal for me would be completely physically and mentally recovered, as where I feel I am able to perform to my highest ability without the fear of re-injuring my hamstring, whilst also knowing I'm not letting my fellow teammates, coach or fans down. Having the confidence I need to perform to the best of my ability and reducing my anxiety is essential to not impact my performance. Having greater confidence will help me return to play quicker, as I won't be concerned about reading.
Firstly, let's examine what anxiety is and how it is contributing to your delayed time away from the sport. Anxiety is an unpleasant emotion which is characterized by vague but persistent feelings of concern and nervousness. There are 3 dimensions of anxiety, including cognitive, somatic, and behavioral. Cognitive anxiety refers to an athlete worrying about a brewing situation or performance, ultimately engaging in unnecessary thinking. Somatic anxiety is the physical manifestation of anxiety and involves the athlete being inflicted by such physical markers as neuroendocrine responses, i.e. heavy breathing as a result of heightened nervousness and tension. Finally, behavioral anxiety includes actions such as tense facial expressions as a coping mechanism due to automatic arousal.
Yes, I understand. Which component of anxiety do I fall under?
Well, regarding the insight you have given me throughout your recent rehabilitation period, I would say due to the fact that you were extremely worried about returning to sport and your feelings of nervousness and anxiousness suggest your level of anxiety falls under the cognitive and somatic components. You acknowledge you need to be at a certain level. Thus, there may be a couple of symptoms causing this cognitive and somatic anxiety. Firstly, the perceived importance of your competition has a part to play, as normally the more significant a competition is, the more anxiety athletes are likely to experience. Secondly, your fear of failure and lack of confidence significantly contribute to your anxiety levels, as athletes who have little confidence in their own abilities are familiar to experience high levels of cognitive anxiety. In contrast to athletes with high levels of confidence barely experience any form of cognitive anxiety. In continuation, your lack of confidence strengthens your fear of failure. Prior to your injury, you were performing well and your coach was extremely happy with you. The thought of you underachieving and ultimately letting your coach down promotes unnecessary pressure, having a further impact on your anxiety level.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense, but how has this affected my performance and ultimately my goals?
Cognitive anxiety is always detrimental to sport performance, as it is elicited whenever people interpret a particular situation as posing a threat in some way or form. I feel as a consequence of experiencing this injury, you see returning to physical activity as a threat, as you said your coach and peers have very high expectations for you to perform well. Ultimately, I feel your perfectionism trait is majorly impacting your ability to reach your mental goal. You perceive returning to play again as very important and thus a maladaptive perfectionism concept. Strategies you can incorporate into your weekly training that will help you progress faster and become more confident. I recommend the achievement goal theory. It is an action plan where motivation determines what success means to you. There are two distinguishing achievement goals that identify an individual's motivation. The first one is task goals. Task-orientated people focus on the learning and mastery of skills. And the second goal is ego-orientated. People, where an athlete will compare their own performance with others and will always try to win.
I understand what you're saying, but how does this relate to me?
Well, for you, it will focus on being task-orientated. This means that when you are faced with high-pressure situations, which you are currently experiencing with your injury, you can use problem-solving strategies from being task-orientated to deal with some of the cognitive anxiety you are experiencing. Being task-orientated will influence positive outcomes and help you develop greater competence.
And how will being task-orientated benefit me?
For your recovery, pairing the achievement goal theory with a motivational climate will further your improvement and development. It allows you to value learning, effort, and competence improvement, while also viewing mistakes or setbacks along the way as learning experience.
What are some problem strategies I can apply to achieve this?
Firstly, you can start by setting self-referenced performance goals. This involves creating goals that will positively influence an end product. The goals can be of numerical value or performance development. Since you're trying to get back playing in a month's time, I recommend short-term goals. This involves creating 1 or 2 achievable goals each week that will also challenge you. By doing this, it will help you work hard to reach the goals and create, but also helps you keep on track as it highlights your weekly progress and makes you feel good about yourself and your achievements. You should talk to your physiotherapist to understand what you're allowed to do each week and set goals that will still make you work hard. Your physiotherapist can help you with setting up physical goals to achieve with your injury, as he understands your hamstring the most. These short-term goals will essentially reduce the extreme pressure you're feeling and anxiety levels, because accomplishing each goal will not only ultimately strengthen your hamstring, but hopefully increase the belief that you will not re-injure it.
Okay, I understand. By creating small goals each week and mentally prepare me and minimise the pressure I'm currently experiencing, are there any other strategies I can use for recovery?
Yes, while still focusing on the achievement goal theory we spoke about before, you should minimise comparison with other athletes. This diminishes any doubt or discouragement you may feel slowly by not focusing on what they are achieving. Simple strategies for this involve avoiding talking about the top performers and focus on meaningful conversations about personal development. A good idea is to have one-on-one review with your coach, where your results are kept private and not compared to anyone else. This will also help your confidence grow.
Perfect. This is going to be extremely useful. Is there anything else I can apply to the process for a fast recovery?
Definitely. Positive feedback for your efforts and improvements will help control a confident mindset. When talking about your recovery with anyone, make sure it's always positive. This includes the one-on-one review with your coach and the progress you're making with your physiotherapist. Positive feedback will spark your confidence levels and will definitely help you feel like you aren't letting anyone down. Overall, these goals can easily fit into your training schedule each week, while also seeing your physiotherapist and myself for progress and feedback.
Yeah, I see what you mean. My loss of confidence is impacting my recovery. Well, today has been very helpful for me. I have a deeper understanding of my psychological issues consisting of confidence and anxiety. I feel myself assured that I can face these issues with the action plan discussed. I can apply the 3 strategies talked about to my training that include self-reference performance goals, positive feedback, and not comparing myself to others. Along with support from my physiotherapist, I feel prepared to success in a fast recovery.
I'm glad this has been helpful for you. I hope to see you next week to discuss your progress and give you feedback.
Thank you very much.